See, yeah, you know how it goes, you know, and it's hard to make money at home. It's hard to get people to pay you in Cleveland, you know. I mean, I can go out of town and make money. It's tough to get paid in Cleveland.
Okay, I'll give you half of what I'm getting.
Yes, right. Yeah. This reading case in point. This is about driving. I'm sure you guys know another poet in town, Terry Provo. You've probably seen him through here.
He has red here.
He has red here. And I was always intrigued from the day I met him about a poet who was also a nuclear physicist. It just seemed like such a weird dichotomy there that I took him on a trip with me to Chicago just so I could listen to him talk for 6 hours. And this poem came from that. It's called Redtail. 2,900 pounds of steel, rubber, fabric, and glass-pointed west. Driving from Cleveland to Chicago, and I've got a nuclear physicist riding shotgun, just in case. Rather than atoms, we split hairs plucked from the heads of men half our age, philosophizing like students as we enter that existential state that is Indiana. Not Texas flat, but flat enough to cause one's eyes to glaze. 143 miles of furrowed brown soil waiting for this season's seed fall by like primordial spring dominoes. Flat enough to see Thunderhead stationed 1/2 hour into the future, suspended in the sky like mammoth gray jellyfish. Electrostatic charges bolting through rain tendrils, yet we remain dry. Rolling by a metronome telephone poles, the horizon as linear and truth-laden as time is spiked by silos, barns, farmhouses, and juvenile red-tailed hawks learning to hunt by hopping from bark-covered fence posts. Occasionally, we'll see a tree. Its stump spared from TNT, standing solo sentry in a freshly tilled soybean field, cultivated earth flowing over and past its buried roots. I want you to imagine a photograph of river water going around a boulder. It's been left to the elementary bonsai twisting whim of weather as seasons pass by, like passengers in chartered bus headed to an Indian casino. And these trees, they owe their existence to their very lack of utility. Too quick burning for fuel, too soft for table or chair, too crooked for beam or floorboard, just as easy to plow around, not worth removal's effort. Thus, their Cambion rings have become a silent repository of history. Now our car's front end is sword swallowing the road before us, and we got nothing but gray skies ahead. The black asphalt highway sensation is plunger and trumpet bell muted by our tire shocks and struts, and Stan Getz' ghost is blowing from within the radio speaker, precipitating notes in between. Tall and tan and young and lovely. The physicist tells me of his visit to Ipanema, where the words for bikini and dental floss are synonymous. And I imagine a half-naked hygienist instructing me to spit, please. In the left corner of the sky, a hawk's squared wing silhouette draw a searchlight circle, surfing an updraft at 33 1/3 revolutions per minute. Effortless, defying the gravity that keeps turnpike traffic earthbound and men's souls rooted into the ground. Okay. Oh, let's see. Now, one thing I do when I go into classrooms, I teach anyone from 6. I don't know. Maybe. I don't.
Wordplay?
D. Perry.
Oh, D.
Could have been. Could have been. This is one. I got a couple of them. This is called Cookout. Arrange your ideals in a pyramid in the center of the grill. Open your mind by pressing thumb firmly on its red dot. Squeeze 1.6 fluid ounces of your principles per pound of belief. Set beliefs on fire immediately. In approximately 15 to 20 minutes, or when beliefs are ashed over, spread ideas evenly. Wait 5 minutes and begin writing. I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of little short. I got 5 some minutes here. Let's see, where's all those? Okay, here's 3 short ones.
Just keep going.
This one's called Chicago. A couple of coins next to a cherry-scented paradichlorobenzene disinfectant block atop a plastic screen in an O'Hare airport terminal does not a wishing well make. Luck and betrayal are cousins. Mercifully, eventually, doses of either run out. They're funny. This next one is called Esprit d'Escalier, or that's how I butcher the French, which means the spirit of the staircase. That's when you think of what you should have said, but it's 5 minutes late. You're already...
Oh yeah.
One begins wearing a watch, becomes serious, as gradually as one realizes the gravity of time. One cannot hold one's breath till death by suffocation without the employment of some outside mechanism. Okay. And the next one, see, 3 short, it's called capitulation. My cats hate me. And I truly believe they actively plot against me. Nowadays, going underground means leaving my cell phone home. I've been known to drink coffee too late at night in spite of myself. Sometimes life is like walking into a fire hose full blast. Other times, it is not. Got a bunch of these. There's one more little one. Now this is a real. Now I find images, and I that's the way I write. I see an image, I find an image, and I plug the images into something, and I work around them. And this is just an image that I didn't know what to do with, so here it is. It's called My Wife's Laugh, and I'm not married, so but I do have a sweetie right here. I told them that her laugh reminded me of paint, long chipped from cracked glass window frame, in a classroom outside of Shanghai, where quasi-legal migrant construction workers, black-eyed children sit bundled, red-cheeked, runny-nosed, shouting poetry at the top of their lungs like birds begging in a nest. I know exactly what you mean, he replied. Let's see. 3 minutes. Insomnia. Generally, you'll sleep through it. But on occasions of anticipation, heartache, or too much caffeine, you may find yourself lying awake at 3:25 a.m. and the world is silent. Perfectly still, longing for a sleep, you may hear your heart beat, like the pendulum of a grandfather clock in the next room. Ear pressed against pillow, turned back in, listening to your own blood flow, its echo the sound of the ocean in a seashell. Then in the distance, timpani drums, hundreds of them. Muffled mallets bouncing off skins like heavy rain on canvas, marching closer and closer, their rhythms resonating in the pit of your stomach, giving way to the metallic clack and clatter of steel wheel on rail, and then for an instant the sky is full of train sound, and you're awake on this occasion of anticipation, heartache, or too much caffeine. Then the wheels surrender to the rain, and the rain bows to the timpanis, and the timpanis march away, leaving you with the sound of the ocean in a seashell. But generally, you'll sleep through it. All right, I'm gonna do two more and I'm done. 2 fishing poems. I'm gonna end with 2 fishing poems. Enough sense to lock my floating flambeau tackle box while I wishbone straddle balanced on the edge of the canoe. Jack Nicholson axe swinging an oar above my head in a futile attempt to dislodge the brand new $8.75 jitterbug lure that my cretinous brother-in-law had managed to feed that catalpa tree. Leaves and twigs rain down under the water's surface, concentric circles outlining their landing, swelling, enveloping each other in Japanese desktop feng shui rake patterns, an animated Tibetan meditation icon, an aquatic mandala, if you will, whose hypnotic grasp is only broken by the splash of a 6'1", 200-pound male that just happened to be me. The evening sky rolled by in a hard banking turn as the boat obeyed the laws of Newton, backslamming me beneath the surface of the water, wherein I discovered the true absorbency of my flannel shirt, and the exact depth of the silt on the pond's bottom, the electric thrill of oxygen deprivation. It's racing the water that's filling my ears, eyes, and throat, and I am 6 years old. I'm in my backyard, and my old man, he's holding me under the water in the pool again. He thinks it's some kind of joke, but I can't breathe that. It's really not funny. And then finally, my murky shadow bursts from those waters, and then coughing like a seal off the coast of Alcatraz, I wade to the shore and I discover I don't have my glasses anymore. Everything's fuzzy. All the sharp edges, those coloring book outlines, they dropped away like the scales from Saul turned Paul's eyes. I've crawled from a primordial soup into a brand new impressionistic world. While a largemouth bass, he's starting his life anew. He's wearing my glasses. He's a freshwater version of the amazing Mr. Limpet, warning his cohorts that, hey, buddy, that's just a lure. But I don't know the difference anymore. Because everything's soft, everything's safe.
Lame up here.
How about the poet Arm Wrestle Casey for titles? He had hooked an angel shark. Line ripping from his bait casting reel, drag click whizzing away like a New Year's Eve noisemaker that's been attached to an electric drill. And the rest of the anglers at his end of the pier, well, they grabbed their gear and they cleared the way to watch this fight. Big fish, big fish. Big fish on, passes, tide steady down the 600-foot fishing pier as tackle lay abandoned on weather-cured planks so the owners could catch this show. 50-pound test line stretching tight, guttural cat howling like an out-of-tune violin, while our young man, he's rappelling down a mountainside now, back-leaning with all his weight, gaining 3 feet, giving up 2, towed from one rough-hewn railing to the other for 3 torturous quarters of an hour before we even see that fish. Rolling near the surface like a king-size sheet flashing by in a washing machine that is filled with dark green ink. The white underside of a 150-pound stingray slicing by for a fraction of eternity and then diving as if sucked down a drain. His fiberglass composite rod, broomstick thick, arches downward toward the moon's reflected static scribbled across the waves 20 feet below this pier, a catapult the instant before sword slices rope. And time stops and solidifies. Like the briny residue of sea spray crystallizing in the corner of one's mouth while we each wait the interminable amounts of seconds tick, 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 ticking by, each one of us expecting the line to snap. But he's hanging on. When most would cut it loose, I mean, a stingray is a garbage fish after all, not fit for food. It's too expensive for a taxidermist's bench, but it's a matter of principle to him now. And eventually the rod slowly unbends like an arching dinosaur's neck, and the fish breaks the surface and surrenders. A giant 3-pronged gapping hook attached to tire swing thick rope pulls the fish up, dripping like a Volkswagen being lifted from a farm pond by a crane, and 3 men haul it over the railing and drop it on the deck. Its slick white belly up, blood spatter illuminated by mercury vapor, a softball-sized mouth of pointed teeth gasping in the terrible air. And the first baby was a surprise, like a black dinner plate gliding out from underneath a cabled rug, but 4 more followed, and each, mindful of the stinger, were gingerly tossed back into the sea by the astonished fishermen. And then the mother, she was heaved over, smacking the water, spread eagle flat with the sound of a tree split by lightning cracking, predator attracting blood, billowing wake, trailing her escape. While her offspring, fish, born out of water, fly in formation, oblivious to her sacrifice. Thanks for having me, guys.